In this video, we're going to be taking a look at 3 altcoins that could be setting up for a big surge once Bitcoin can confirm and hold the $35,000 support level. These 3 altcoins are 3 altcoins that have been big on the channel so far, and Bitcoin currently is not looking too good. We are below 30K at the moment at the time of this recording. And looking at the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, it's looking like it may be some time before we actually see Bitcoin reach that 35K level of support. But stick around to find out why these 3 altcoins could surge once that happens. And of course, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you love crypto, you are in the right place. Smashing that like button really does help. It's one of the best ways you can help support these videos and make sure that they reach more people. So I do appreciate that like button getting smashed. Thank you so much. Check out averagejoecrypto.io when you stop watching this video, and we're going to jump right on into it. And as I said, these 3 coins that we're about to talk about here from this article from Cointelegraph are 3 coins that have been pretty significant here on the channel. Each time I've covered these coins, I've gotten lots of good feedback on those. Now, like I also said about Bitcoin, we are back in between these support and resistance areas, just back into this range that we traded in for so long here. Also on the 4 hours, something I'm noticing for Bitcoin, like I said, it may be some time before Bitcoin actually can get back up and reach that 35K level. Although I do think it's going to happen. We have a lot of analysts calling for possibly the bottom at 25K. We shall see, guys. I will bring you some Bitcoin analysis later on today. Definitely hit that notification bell for that. So let's jump into this article from Cointelegraph. Here are 3 altcoins that could surge once Bitcoin flips 35K to support. Right off the top here, they do go ahead and announce which coins they're going to talk about in this article: Cardano ADA, Polygon Matic, and XLM or Stellar Lumens. They go on to say they appear well positioned for a bullish breakout once Bitcoin flips the 32,000 to 35,000 zone to support. And this is something that I've pointed out also in my live streams, guys. It goes on to say Bitcoin and the wider cryptocurrency market are taking a breather after the rally on May 31st. Meanwhile, most altcoins remain severely oversold, with most between 70% and 90% below their all-time highs. I've pointed this out also. Many of these altcoins, at the lowest of the lows. And what is clear is that fear is everywhere and blood is in the water. Risk-on markets are suffering worldwide, but it is exactly these situations and these kinds of conditions that create opportunities where professional money accumulates and adds to positions. So if the broader cryptocurrency market enters into a new uptrend, the first coin on their list here is ADA or Cardano. Could be setting up for an 80% surge. And when looking at the Cardano ADA 4-hour time frame chart, honestly, I am already in agreement here without even looking into the article. Judging by the way the price action is playing out right now, things could change in a heartbeat in crypto. Keep that in mind, right? But judging by the way the chart looks, they could be exactly right. So let's dive in and see what they have to say here about Cardano. So ADA has a significantly bullish update coming very soon. The much anticipated Vasil hard fork, which increases performance and adds more Plutus enhancements, is planned for June. From a price action perspective, ADA is positioned in a strong price range that will likely support any further upside. And I can't exactly pronounce this right here, but within this system, ADA has maintained a significant gap between the bodies of the past 3 weekly candlesticks and the Tenkan-Sen. When the bodies of the candlesticks and the Tenkan-Sen have noticeable gaps, a correction often occurs within 3 to 4 days. This is because the equilibrium is out of sync. The Tenkan-Sen and price action like to stick together as much as possible. A mean reversion back to the Tenkan-Sen is extremely likely when one strays too far from the other. So let's take a look at that. Zooming in on this, you can see there is a significant gap here. Looking like we should be coming on up to test that on the ADA weekly time frame here. The article goes on to say, however, if the broader cryptocurrency market experiences a big bounce, the ADA price may shoot past the Tenkan-Sen to test the Kijun-Sen. ADA has not tested the weekly Kijun-Sen since the week of November 8th, 2021. The weekly Kijun-Sen is at $1.02 and contains the 2021 volume point of control and the 50% Fibonacci retracement of the all-time high to the low of January 25th, 2021. Now, before moving on to the next coin that we're going to talk about in this video, let's go ahead and just do some quick analysis on the Cardano ADA chart, just to go in with the article that we just read. Okay, so basically, they are saying that we could be getting ready, ADA could be gearing up for a move up past $1 potentially. So let's take a look at my Cardano chart here and just see what's going on. So we've been in this massive retracement, right? I mean, absolutely enormous. Cardano has actually fallen. Let's just go ahead and check it out. As they've been saying, many of these altcoins experiencing 70 to 90% losses from their all-time highs. Cardano ADA sitting here at about an 85% drop since its previous high back here at around $3. So looking like oversold, right? Many altcoins looking extremely oversold right now in these market conditions. Like I've been saying, perfect opportunities, guys. Enormous opportunities here to get in at prices that most of us thought we would never see again for some of these alts. Now, if looking at Cardano, depending on where you place your trend lines, now where I have my trend lines placed, it looks like we actually broke this downtrend. We retraced back down and tested the downtrend for support right here. We actually managed to get a bounce right here off of that support, this purple trend line, where you broke out right here. You retraced back down, you bounced off of it as support very nicely on the 4-hour candles. If you look, this was an enormous bounce here for Cardano off of that. Look at that massive wick here on this 4-hour candle and an enormous bounce back up here into these ranges. Now, if we go ahead and look at the current price action, it does look like we tried to break this second downtrend here in white, but we're rejected here pretty hard at about 70 cents or so. And what we've done is fell back below that resistance line and currently have tested it once again after bouncing off the EMA ribbon, bouncing and testing this resistance, this downtrend once again. You can see we perfectly tried to test it here for support, could not hold that support. We broke below it, testing it for resistance once again. It has so far held as resistance. So guys, unless Bitcoin gets a nice move up, I would expect Cardano to see a continuation to this retracement from here based off of this downtrend resistance. Now, if Bitcoin manages to get a nice little bounce and a little reversal once again after falling back below 30K, we could easily see Cardano get a nice break out of this. Now, let's analyze this very quickly because we do have 2 other coins to cover in this video. So let's quickly analyze this current price action for Cardano on the 4-hour time frame because this is looking decent here. Let me go ahead and see what I can do. Okay, so I basically had to bring it down to the 1 hour to really get a look at these candles here. What it looks like happened, you can see that we had this nice little wedge pattern you were consolidating in very, very nicely there. You did break to the downside out of that. And if you look, this measured move was reached almost actually perfectly here. Look at that. The measured move of this pattern, this little wedge pattern here, that measured move was reached perfectly on this move to the downside and this bounce here, which actually formed another wedge pattern, a larger, broader wedge pattern here on the hourly time frame and also on the 4-hour time frame. What it looks like happened, it looks like you actually broke out of this, but got rejected by this previous support here. So what could happen next if Cardano maintains support here on this previous downtrend resistance level? You could easily get a nice secondary bounce here. Once you get above that that previous support, and reclaim that support, a reversal is likely here for Cardano. Now let's just take a look at the measurement of this as a broader pattern. We'll just use the same one here and pull it on down. So as a larger wedge pattern breakout, let's take a look at where this could potentially get us on the conservative side and on the more bullish side. So the more bullish side, we're looking at possibly 65 cents or so, retesting. That would be retesting some of this previous support and resistance from right here. So we're looking at possibly a short-term move to the upside if you break this resistance at about 58 cents. A short-term move on back up to around the 65 to possibly 68, 70 cent range, which would give you a target of anywhere between this range, 65 cents to 70 cents would be the target range. And a move to the downside would most likely, in the short term, at least get you a retest of the 50-cent support level. If that doesn't hold, you're going to come on down to the 45-cent, 44-cent support level. And there's a possibility, of course, that you could come all the way back down to retest this downtrend support, which I don't think is likely. But if Bitcoin does continue bearish, then you could be looking at possibly Cardano coming back down to test the 30 to 35 cent range. And the next coin on the list is Polygon Matic. And this article from Cointelegraph is telling us Matic is aiming for $1. If you've made it this far along in the video, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and drop a comment in the comment section to let me know that you watched this far. Looking at the weekly chart for Polygon Matic, one can't help but notice that it looks strikingly similar to Cardano ADA. Matic and ADA both have sold off from $3 and both are stuck in the mid 50 cent to mid 60 cent price range. But that is where the similarities mostly end. Fundamentally, Matic remains strong. Governments worldwide have attempted to restrict or ban mining due to excessive energy costs for proof-of-work blockchains, and Matic is likely to avoid government scrutiny and attract supporters as a positive example of environmental stewardship. Like ADA, Matic has significant gaps between the bodies of its weekly candlesticks and the Tenkan-Sen, although Matic's gaps are more significant. Likewise, the gap between price and the Kijun-Sen is much more meaningful. So with this system, there is a max mean that price will travel away from the Kijun-Sen before experiencing a violent mean reversion. For Matic, that threshold is 63%. Any renewed bullish momentum for Bitcoin will likely see Matic lead the altcoins higher until it reaches approximately $1 to $1.15. So let's quickly just take a look at the Polygon Matic chart, guys. Okay. Just quickly on the 4-hour, actually, let's go ahead and throw it on the daily just to point out these support areas. So if you look at the long-term Polygon chart here, I mean, we are literally at some of the lowest of the lows. Once again, like I said, the extremely oversold, right? Extremely oversold on the daily here. Look at this. We are literally back testing previous resistance from back in March of 2021. So we are back below some of these extremely low buying opportunity zones. In my opinion, for Polygon Matic, this is an extremely good opportunity, guys. So if you look at the Polygon Matic chart, look at where this candle on the daily is sitting and resting above. The LSMA, okay? We are literally setting and resting above the LSMA here in blue. It's starting to curl up under and show signs of support. If the price action can trade out above this blue LSMA moving average and hold support on this, expect a bounce up to at least the 90 cent, 80 to 90 cent range, guys, and possibly even on up to test $1 to, like they said, $1.15. Look at the EMA ribbon on the daily. So the bottom of the EMA ribbon is right there at 90 cents. The middle of the EMA ribbon is right here at $1, and the top is right at $1.15. So judging by this alone, I would at least expect a move up to test these areas for resistance. And of course, like we've talked about, that depends a lot on what happens here with Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin did get a nice dump here on the daily after coming up and breaking 30K. We did dump back below 30K, but if you look right now as I'm making this video, we are trying to get back above 30K. And on the daily, if you would look at this, Bitcoin is also trading out nicely above the LSMA on the daily, even after this massive dump. This new daily candle right here is still, this daily candle is still sitting above the LSMA. Moving on to the third and last altcoin that we are going to cover in this video, guys. Thank you for sticking around this long. If you have, drop a comment in the comment section to let me know. XLM or Stellar Lumens, another coin that I covered previously on the channel. I covered ADA, Matic, and Stellar Lumens a lot at the beginning of starting my channel, and lots of good feedback on these coins. So lots of people holding these coins, buying these coins, right? 3 of some of the top coins, top altcoins out of the top 100. Now, the article goes on to say that Stellar Lumens or XLM lags the altcoin market, but it's known for surprises. Sort of like Ethereum Classic, right? If anyone remembers when ETH Classic just went insane, right? So let's jump into this article, and then of course I will check out the chart right after. Sometimes it is hard to forget that during the last major bull run from the COVID crash to November 2021, there were a few major altcoins that did not hit new all-time highs. Yes, I talked about this a lot too. That was one reason that I kept thinking maybe the bull run wasn't over at 69K for Bitcoin, because of the fact that there were many top altcoins that had not created new all-time highs yet. Good point here off top. In fact, the last time XLM made a new all-time high was the week of January 8th, 2018, almost 4.5 years ago, guys. One thing that XLM has going for it that not many other weekly charts have is a very clear falling wedge pattern. We will check out the chart also. Out of this standard rectangle and triangle patterns in technical analysis, wedge patterns are the most powerful. What makes its wedge so powerful is the probable fake out breakout lower. Yes, this happens so much. The fake out to the downside and then the quick reversal blasting through the support and resistance areas. This happens a lot, guys. Look at this. A perfect fake out opportunity here. Absolutely perfect shakeout for XLM. The most probable direction for a falling wedge is higher, but breakouts below a falling wedge can offer powerful short opportunities. The typical behavior that analysts and traders expect to see with a failed falling wedge is an immediate and swift sell-off, but so far bears have been unable or unwilling to do so, as you can see, getting stopped out with this support at around 11 cents or so. The typical, instead of the weekly chart for XLM, shows a very strong probability of a fake out. If bullish momentum returns to the cryptocurrency market, XLM is likely to hit the second peak of the falling wedge near the 38-cent value area. Classic technical analysts believe that technicals lead fundamentals. If that is true, then altcoins like XLM, Matic, and ADA could be positioned in very desirable conditions in the event of any new bullish momentum. However, downside risks remain a concern, but they are likely extremely limited. If a new uptrend fails to materialize before the end of June, the cryptocurrency market will probably move sideways until a major breakout higher or lower occurs in the fall. So, of course, analyze your risk, but let's check out the XLM chart, guys. So, the falling wedge they are talking about here on the daily looks very good. And the fake out below looks very good as well. It could be positioned for a nice bullish move here. Once again, also with XLM, you can see that the LSMA is starting to curl up underneath the price action as support. Just to point out a good example of this, look back here. The same thing happened here. Once you got above it, the LSMA started to curl up under you and it carried you on up higher to test resistance. Same could be said for here. We could be looking at a move up to around the 15 to 17 cent region. Possibly here soon, guys, to test the EMA ribbon on the daily. Now, if you take a look at the weekly, let's take a look at the weekly real quick. So on the weekly, our EMA ribbon is going to set us up way higher. We're looking at possibly the 23 to 25 cent region for that resistance there. Now, you can also speculate this has a measured move to it, considering this is a giant falling wedge on the weekly. So we could extract this move all the way to this potential breakout point, and that's going to be putting XLM possibly towards 55 to 60 cents to test this previous resistance areas. So judging by this, and as the article says, if we manage to get some bullish momentum in the markets from Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto space, these three coins, Cardano, ADA, and Polygon Matic, could be positioned for nice moves to the upside. Thanks for sticking around for the whole video and watching this update. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you do hold Cardano, Polygon Matic, or Stellar Lumens, let us know in the comments section. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. If you love crypto, you're in the right place. Smash that like button on the way out. And I hope to see you in the next one.